Hey guys, Coach Mike here at Esmarca Training with our 4th edition of Mob of the Week. In today's episode, we're going to address our third mobility system, Muscular Dynamics. Plus, give you 4 new ways that you can use those mobility bands. Now, Muscular Dynamics refers to applying tension through end range so we can try and facilitate change to the tissues that are adhered, specifically emphasizing on getting into positions that look like the positions we're trying to correct. So the first technique we can look at is a squat mobilization iteration. Again, we want to get into positions that actually look like the positions that we're trying to fix. So in the squat, our goal is to drop our hip below parallel, so break the plane of the knee. So we want to get in a position, if we're stretching out the hips and trying to open up the hips, that actually looks like a squat. Now in this position, you can see I've extended my back leg. I'm really focused on the one side. I've attached my monster band or mobility band high up on the inside of the hip, and I can get down nice and low and use that band to pull and distract the joint, distractions that we talked about 2 weeks ago. And now I can just get nice and deep and focus on those muscle dynamics. Now the second technique that we can use, since this bad boy is already attached, is using it to help clear a hip impingement. So if that sucker's still really tight after holding that deep squat, half squat position, what you can do is come down to all fours and then take your opposite leg and lay back down and allow yourself to fall over. This is almost like a half pigeon pose, but what we're doing is really putting the focus on the outside of the hip, and you can go through some movement here and really help clear that hip so you can get a little bit deeper in your squat. The third technique we want to talk about is banded flossing. So it's one thing to get distraction using the band, it's another thing to create movement with the band. So flossing refers to movement. So if we're trying to create, open the anterior side, the front side of our hip, we can load the band on the back of our leg so it pulls that femur forward, creates some space. But then if you start dropping into some split squats, you're now using the band to floss that area and help with those movements. So great one to use, split squats, banded flossing for the back of the hip. So the fourth technique that we're going to talk about using this band is similar to flossing, but it's referred to as paper clipping or oscillating. So now I'm going to go ahead and take myself all the way down to the lunge. I'm still in that same position on the back of the hip. I want to pull back as much as I can handle for the tension so it's pulling forward. But instead of doing the split squats up and down, I just want to go through those peak ranges of motion. So really just push back and hold. So I'm not going through entire range of motion, I'm just hitting the peak and then backing off, and hitting the peak and backing off. So this would be, I'm oscillating through the end range using the band. We call that paper clipping.